let's talk about super license points because those are going to be up for grabs this year. The 2024 F1 Academy champion will get 10 of those. The vice champion and third place finisher will get 7 and 5 respectively, and then 3 points to the driver in fourth and 1 point to the driver in fifth. Now, we all know 40 super license points are required to be in Formula One, so a champion will have a quarter of those points required. However, when you think of a W Series, that champion, perennial champion Jamie Chadwick, she received 15 super license points for those titles. Those were F3 cars, however. So, Joe, do you think that scale is about right, or do you think maybe the F1 Academy champion should earn more points, or is it aligned with the fact that there are Formula 4 cars that they will be racing?
I've been tossing this question just about all week long when we heard this news come out. Because overall, the side of me initially was, okay, I'd like to see the 15 points. Jamie Chadwick in the F3 car got that. 40 points is still a long way. You're not just going to get that much closer with 15. So 10 is even less. But as you said, these are Formula 4 cars. And when you look at the entry for Formula 3, Formula 2, you just need a grade A or B FIA international license. So you're coming to F3 or potentially F2 with 10 super license points. You're one step ahead of a competition, and no male racer could earn that through the avenue you did in F1 Academy. So overall, it is a leg up. The one concern I have is, could they get bogged down in the Formula 3 level if they just have an average run and earn little to no super license points? But at the same time, I would say the goal of F1 Academy, yes, it is try to get a female racer to F1. It shouldn't just bypass Formula 2, Formula 3, but it should give a little bit of a upper step. And I started to think maybe the 10 points is good enough, but if they were to announce 12 points, maybe even 13, I would say yes. But overall, it is just one of those deals I've been contemplating. The big thing being they are Formula 4 cars compared to the Formula 3 cars that W Series were using.
You know, Joe, I've been thinking about this question quite a bit too, and I feel like, it goes back to what we were just talking about with Dorian Pin, and I think we have to keep in mind that when you talk about super license points, only the points that you've earned from your last 3 years are what's the total combined for your super license. So, if we're talking about wanting to make sure drivers take their time up this ladder and aren't rushed to Formula One, I don't even know that Dorian Pin is going to be a contender to be in Formula One. And what would that be now? 2027, I guess. She might very well be on the path to F1, but will she be on the path to F1 that quickly? Unless the driver's going straight from F1 Academy, well, not straight, but from F1 Academy to Formula One in a time span of 3 years, then it doesn't really matter how many super license points are being given, because all those points are going to expire while they're racing and ideally continuing to earn points in Formula 3 or Formula 2, or maybe they come over to the United States to get an IndyCar ride if nothing works out over in Europe. Whatever career path they take on the road to Formula One, unless it's a 3-year time period, I don't really know, but it matters how many points they're earning. So I think if you had to talk about, the scale in terms of Formula 4 to Formula 3, I think it's about right. But in the larger grand scheme of things, if the system is still going to be based on just the last 3 years, then, I kind of think it's a non-issue when you think about it, because those points are just going to expire anyway. So, I'm sure that this is going to continue to be a discussion. Obviously, we went through this with Colton Herta and Andretti trying to get on the grid, and, questions about that, and certain series probably not awarding enough super license points. I understand what they're trying to do to prevent, a 17-year-old from getting into F1. And again, it worked out for Max Verstappen, but I think Verstappen is certainly the exception rather than the rule. He's already on the path to being one of the all-time greats. Not every 17-year-old that you throw into an F1 car is going to go on to achieve that level of success. But I do think the system that they've come up with here is quite flawed in many different ways. And, maybe this is just another instance of that. Are drivers really going to be on the fast track in a 3-year time period from this series to F1? And then, it doesn't even make the conversation worth having.